Vance was doing his little debate trying to cosplay Charlie Kirk or whatever, and the topic inevitably of immigration came up. Take a look.
If you ask the question, what is the exact right number of immigrants for the United States to let in, it is just very specific on the context. If you go back to the 1920s, the United States passed an Immigration Reform Act that effectively cut down immigration to close to zero for 40 years in this country. And what happened over those 40 years? The many people who had come from many different foreign countries and different foreign cultures, they assimilated into American culture. And there was an expectation that they would assimilate into American culture. Back in my establishment GOP days, when I was still very early getting involved in Republican politics, I remember a conservative think tank person who told me that one of the reasons why immigration was really good is that if you had enough diversity in a country, people would mistrust each other and they wouldn't join labor unions.
I'm not even going to engage with that. Look, the reason that I wanted to play that clip and respond to it is, did you get the little rhetorical little trick he did? The little sleight of hand? Back in my Republican establishment days, because I'm not that. I'm just, the vice president of the United States, that's all, and was a senator before that. What are you talking about? Now, some people might imply, no, but you don't get what he means is that prior establishment, but now it's the Trump party. Dude, Trump has been in charge of the party for a decade at this point. Like at a certain point, especially as they continually talk about their triumph over that establishment, you are the establishment. And you might think, yeah, but what they mean is that establishment was only really in it for these old school special interests. But again, what is actually different about that? I mean, we just went through the whole Israel thing. They're just as supportive of these foreign lobbies as before. Now, granted, Trump also is giving the UAE whatever they want, which maybe Paul Ryan wouldn't have done. But I don't think more diverse corruption is what people were saying they wanted when they wanted the establishment to be defeated. In terms of support for Wall Street and support for all these corporate, what is actually different? When people were saying we don't like establishment Republicans, they weren't saying, why aren't you guys whining about trans people all the time? That's not the thing they wanted to change. They wanted the deep state to be rooted out. They wanted the special interest to be rooted out. You get all that same corrupt pro-corporate nonsense, except they also talk about DEI. So I guess that's sort of different. And by the way, the reason again that I'm focusing on this is Vance needs to present himself as some sort of outsider. And he is only, I guess, an outsider arguably in that he doesn't really hold any values whatsoever. His positions, his ideology will be whatever it needs to be. And maybe, again, I don't think that he can sell that in the same way that Donald Trump could. And I think that will be a problem for him. But the idea that he's a real rebel or whatever. Dude used to be a CNN guy when that's what he needed to be to get a paycheck. And then he became sort of a regular Republican when he needed to be. And then he became a MAGA Republican. Now he's saying he's anti-establishment. If you're a Republican voter, if you're looking ahead to 2028, don't even pay attention to JD Vance right now because it's pointless. Just wait and check in a couple of years to see whatever he's focus grouped himself into at that point. And again, I don't know what these young Republicans want, but I don't think that's what they want. They don't want another person who's just gonna create a new persona every year. That's slimy. That is old school, not just Republican, but also Democratic policies. And I don't think they want that. But that said, the topic of immigration came up yet again from a student whose girlfriend is apparently on a student visa. Let's jump to that.
Legal immigration is complicated because we let in about 1 million legal immigrants into the United States of America every single year. And I think the evidence is pretty clear that a lot of those immigrants are actually undercutting the wages of American workers. My view is, look, there are people who want to come to the United States of America, and some of them, I'm sure, can enrich the United States of America by coming here, but we have got to get our overall numbers way down. Too many people have come into the United States of America. I am married to the daughter of immigrants who came to the United States in the 1980s. I do believe that some immigrants, many immigrants do in fact enrich the United States of America, but here's the problem. We don't even know how many illegal aliens we have. We don't even know. The best guess is probably 25, 30 million people. I've heard estimates as high as 50 million. When something like that happens, you've got to allow your own society to cohere a little bit, to build a sense of common identity, for all the newcomers to assimilate, the ones who are going to stay, to assimilate into American culture.
Yeah, so that was actually a thing that he got some applause for, because there he's doing what they still want, which is there's some immigrants that can enrich America. Which kind do you think he's talking about? You think he's talking about like work ethic? You think he's talking about ideology? Or do you think he's talking about like the country they came from? Do you think he's talking about skin color? That's 100% what he's talking about, and they understand that in the room. Now, he's not Donald Trump. He's not gonna come out and like just blurt it out and say it like, we're gonna let in the white South Africans. JD Vance is a little bit more careful than that. And so he could be undone in 2028 by someone who gets that there is a big appeal for a far more explicitly racist candidate. JD Vance is a little bit scared of that. But he says he plays the games. So he says the estimate is 25, 30 million. I've heard as much as 50 million. Yeah, no, I know that you've talked to Trump every once in a while and he has no idea and he just blurts out numbers. But again, the people in the audience, they actually want that. Just lie to me. Say there's 3 billion immigrants in America and we need to get rid of them. They love that stuff. That actually works on them. And then he'll throw out numbers like how many people come in each year. Do you know why they frame it that way? Because then it seems like, well, then it's always going up, right? I mean, oh my God, if you're getting 2 million a year, oh my God, in 20 years, that's it. We're gonna be swamped. Not, of course, acknowledging that the vast majority also leave and perhaps come back and then leave. And that's true for legal immigrants. It's true for undocumented immigrants as well. They will constantly talk about how many people cross the border one way. They don't acknowledge those who then cross it back and then come next year and then go back. That way you can make it seem as if one person who's crossing the border 10 times over the course of 5 years is 10 different people rather than one. This is how you fearmonger. This is how you get people worked up into a frenzy by pretending the numbers are much more than they are. But that said, we've gotten super serious and it's a bunch of JD Vance attacking migrants and stuff like that. I think we have something more fun for you. So we're gonna get off the debate stage. We will, he won't. Quick note, why are we paying JD Vance's salary? If he's just gonna be hosting podcasts and doing debates, if he's just literally pretending to be Charlie Kirk now 24/7, why is he drawing like a $200,000-$300,000 salary? He's obviously not working. If we're assuming that he prepped for all of those, that's multiple days that he's just doing podcasts or whatever. You know, JD Vance, you can just leave and start a podcast if that's where your heart truly lies. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.